Satnam, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to my channel. Let's see what do we need to know today. I'm getting a very good energy, but I usually get that good energy when I start connecting here. So I feel like there's some kind of continuous culmination happening. I feel like you need to start looking at your manifestation differently, actually, or maybe that's what's about to start happening for you. So, what I mean by that is maybe you're no longer looking at your manifestation as like an end goal or something that's gonna happen or come to fruition, but you're seeing it as like a battery or something that needs to be charged or that like needs to keep culminating life force or something. Not needs to, but you understand what I'm trying to say. So let's see what's happening. The Knight of Pentacles, yes. I feel like you're about to listen. You might have like specific goals or specific like desires and stuff like that that you want to create or that you want to attain. But I feel like if you like if you have like a bigger picture perspective, a higher perspective or something, you would see that like your end goal is ultimately not actually something, but your end goal is ultimately a way of being, right? Like for instance, say for instance you want to manifest a certain business, it's because you want financial freedom, okay? Because the Knight of Pentacles, right? If you want to manifest a relationship, it's because you want to give and receive love, right? Like that kind of thing. So it's never about a certain situation or a certain product necessarily, it's about a state of being, okay? So because you are so because that's the case, I feel like on your journey to reaching your goal, which is never reached because it's a state of being ultimately, okay, your journey is changing. The perspective on how you are ultimately perceiving your, I don't know if it's a manifestation or a goal. Like I can't really get the perfect word for it, but you understand what I'm saying. Like it's changing, okay? So it's not the journey itself or the path itself that's changing, but you are changing with like on the path, okay? In what way though? Like how is this going to be influencing you? I think because you are no longer seeing, like you might even start seeing the goal or the manifestation as a byproduct of the actual goal and the actual manifestation, which once again is actually your embodiment, rather than your experience. It's your embodiment of self rather than your experience of something. Let's continue. Death, oh my goodness. That's a very big transformation, Seven of Swords, but that's a very good transformation, of course. There is some kind of like deception or lie, or I don't want to call it a deception or a lie necessarily, but there's some kind of like untrue energy that is transforming. And I feel like perhaps this untrue energy, interesting, I feel like perhaps this untrue energy is this misunderstanding of what your goal or end destination actually is. It's kind of like, listen, you're a god, so you're going to be living forever, so get used to not just witnessing, observing and experiencing almost basically everything, but also get used to, because you're living forever, because you are an infinite being, get used to the fact that no situation or something like that ultimately will give you closure or will fulfill you because you're a god, you're an infinite being. You understand what I'm trying to say? So hence again, I'm not saying that the business or the love will not fulfill you, but it's more along the lines of this energy of like that business or love is something that like the end goal is actually something that just like is the cherry on top of the cake of what the actual end product is. Am I making sense? I feel like I'm like talking in loops, but I feel like there's like a lot of energy that had to be expressed there. The Seven of Swords usually gives me a lot of like tangled energy, so that energy had to be detangled. Three of Swords. Eight of Cups. This is interesting. The Moon. It's almost like Magician. Yeah, Ace of Swords. It's almost like these cards aren't really talking about what I'm talking about. But like when I was saying that and I saw the Magician and the Ace of Swords, I was like, yeah, but it's because I'm manifesting a different energy. Like even if physicality kind of is not um hasn't gotten the memo yet, right? So wow, there's a lot of there's a lot of like actual dense energy in your reading, guys. Knight of Pentacles, Death, Seven of Swords, Three of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. That's a lot of like energy of basically moving on after something terrible happened or something. Seven of Swords and the Three of Swords together, that's a Ten of Swords. That's betrayal. That's like being backstabbed. That's, shit like that. That's like minor arcana death, Ten of Swords. But anyway. So you might have been getting a little bit sidetracked as to what your ultimate goal actually was, and your manifestation and all of your desires were always actually forever rooted in this idea of wanting to be larger than life or being an infinite being. And I feel like you got very distracted with like certain goals and certain desires, especially when it came to the heart. But not necessarily especially, but kind of especially, but like it could be like heartfelt desires when it came to business or something. But this feels much more personal and deep, right? So I feel like some of this energy was actually so intense, like you had to go through some intense energy. The energy was so traumatic that it actually makes you like you forget some of it because it was so traumatic. Like, why did I go so deep into this shitty energy now? Because again, like I feel like you might have actually gotten distracted by a lot of things. I'm not saying that's why you had these terrible situations, but it's almost like the darkness, the wounds that created certain holes within you that needed to be filled kept distracting you from the actual thing. So you kept thinking like this would make you this would fix this energetic problem, this would fix this problem or something, but it never did. No matter what healing you did, no matter how much money you made or etc etc, okay, it's because your focus was on the wrong end product. And again, the end product is your goddard, it's not anything else. It might be your goddard because I did see the Two of Cups and the Four of Wands as well. Like it might, the end product might be goddard in tangent with some kind of love or partnership, but still, like it's not about the, it's about the embodiment of the partnership, not the experience of it. It's about the embodiment of the abundance, not the experience of it. And I feel like you were focusing too much on the experience rather than the embodiment of it, because the experience was always coming from you anyway, right? Whoa. This feels a little bit like, yeah, okay, whatever, bro. But I feel like this, like, for those of you who are like present with this energy, this is gonna be like a very big, major breakthrough for you, especially in regards to you releasing mortality or some kind of like trauma or betrayal that kept you very much stuck in like mortal consciousness or some shit like that. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. That was your reading. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, donating. Please do consider liking, subscribing, and donating. I will see you again for another one tomorrow. Yes, currently I am Sean Connery. I do not know why. Cheers. Anyway.